Do you have faith that you can find the right girlfriend or wife? This is not a religious video. So whether you're religious or not, this will be super valuable for you. If you're a man who wants to find a relationship, if you're just looking for hookups, this probably isn't for you. What I want to explain to you here today is the fundamental meta concept based on which all results in your life have been created. Anything you've been able to achieve in your career or your business comes from this fundamental principle. Once you understand this, you'll be able to take the actions necessary to move closer to the goal of an amazing girlfriend or wife. You have to understand that every result you've created in your life, the job you have, the business you have, the body you have, the relationships or friendships you have, they came from your actions. Brilliant insight, David. Where's this going? Bear with me. Where do your actions come from? Your beliefs. Your mental and your emotional state. In other words, your beliefs. What you believe to be possible about you, for you in this world, is what you'll act upon. If you don't believe dating apps work, as an example, you won't build a good profile on Hinge, you won't get good dates. If you don't think that you should approach women because it'll make you a creep, you won't do it. If you don't think women want to be approached in a respectful, kind of calibrated way, you won't do it. What are the results you'll get? Miserable. Let's say you don't take a lot of action because you don't even believe there's any good women left, or dating apps don't work, or you can't approach, or you couldn't possibly send messages on Instagram to get dates. If you don't believe it, what are the results going to be that you'll create for yourself in your dating life? Not that great. You go on a couple of dates, maybe one date a month. It's not that great. And maybe she loses interest in you. Maybe you lose interest in her. And that result then reinforces the belief that either you're not lovable, there aren't any good women left, or dating apps don't work. Well, if you don't put the right effort in, then you won't get the result. So how do you break this cycle? You could intervene at different points, but you could visualize a successful outcome, not to magically manifest an elephant into your room. That's a reference to The Secret, the movie, in case you haven't seen it. It's not some magic woo-woo, but what you can do is you can visualize yourself with a beautiful woman inside out, by your side, having a family you always wanted to have. The act of visualizing creates enough emotional certainty within you to believe that it's possible, which then lets you take the actions, which then gets you the result. Technically, it's just about execution. Technically, if you speak to enough women and you improve your communication skills, you are inevitably going to find the right girlfriend or wife. It's impossible that you won't. But for you to not stop, you have to have the emotional certainty that you can actually achieve the outcome and discipline your disappointment along the way. That's why visualization works. It's because it creates the certainty, the belief at an emotional, not just at a cognitive level, but at an emotional level, which then allows you to take the actions necessary consistently for X amount of months to get the outcome. So, what do you believe about yourself that's been stopping you? What's the story that's been holding you back? Tony Robbins says, divorce the story and marry the truth. What's the story you've told yourself about dating apps, women, dating in the US, dating in the UK, yourself, anything that's been holding you back? And I would propose to you that if you're a good, kind, loving, hardworking man, any belief you have that is supposed to serve as evidence as to why you shouldn't be able to find an amazing girlfriend or wife is a lie. Wayne Dyer says, no one knows enough to be a pessimist. Let that sink in. Entertain that thought for a second without immediately accepting it. That's the mark of an educated mind, isn't it? What if any idea, any thought, any belief that you previously carried as to why you shouldn't be able to find the right girlfriend or wife was a lie? What if? What if it was possible for you to find an amazing woman? What would it feel like? What will your life be like? Play with that thought for a second. You wake up in the morning, you turn to your right. Beautiful woman, she loves you. You connect. Maybe she makes you coffee. Maybe you make her breakfast. You build a life together. You work, you come home. Somebody's there who tells you she's proud of you for working so hard. How does that feel? Amazing. It's absolutely possible. Any thought you've had as to why this shouldn't be possible for you is a lie, my friend. You've been lied to by society. Your mind has tried to keep you safe. Your mind is not your enemy. Your mind's been trying to protect you. Self-sabotage is merely misguided self-love. Your brain's job is to keep you safe. Your brain's job is to help you survive, not to make you happy. So your mind will do anything for you to stay safe. And rejection means the possible end of your existence, at least for your ancient 300,000-year-old brain, where we used to live in tribes where that very well was the case. So it's trying to keep you safe, not to make you happy. You don't need a relationship to survive. But if you want to be happy, if you want to be truly fulfilled, if you want to be as productive as humanly possible in your work, if you want to be a great father or a father at all, a relationship to the right woman is required. And you can get the skill set. There's resources. There's free resources. There's paid resources. They exist. But you're not going to utilize any of that if you don't believe to your core, if you don't have faith that it's possible for you. Now, you might say, David, I've made experiences in the past that indicate I'm not that great with women. Or you're married before you got a divorce and you only keep running into the wrong women and maybe there isn't anybody. Maybe you have the belief, the false dichotomy that you're either going to find somebody who's physically attractive but has a crazy personality, or somebody who has a beautiful personality, but to be honest, you're not that physically excited about her. So, what am I going to do? Well, that's a negative double bind. What's the word that I used before? It's a false dichotomy because you believe it's either this or that option. Well, to be honest, the truth is there's a third. You can find a woman who's not perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I've never met a human being without flaws. But you can find somebody amazing. You can find somebody who has all of your must-haves. If you're not completely delusional. If you're delusional, please face objective reality. But you're allowed to have a high standard. But with a high standard comes the responsibility of being able to act on it. But you're only going to be able to act on it if you reinforce and strengthen the belief on a daily basis. How do you reinforce that belief on a day-to-day basis? By watching videos like this. Input equals output. What you currently believe, it's been put there. You weren't born with limiting beliefs. A child that's born believes the world is its playground. There was a time in your past where you thought anything was possible. And maybe you're not going to go to Jupiter, but you can for sure find an amazing relationship. Elon Musk, he's confronted with actual uncertainty. Is it going to work, or is this billion-dollar rocket going to explode? You can find a woman. There's 400 billion women in the world. If you live in the US, there's 150 million women. 15 million women in your age bracket alone. And you can't find one who's right for you, that is a limiting belief. Whatever thought comes to mind right now as to why it's not possible for you to find the right one is a lie. Rewrite that story. Write them down. Look at them and say, oh, that's a story I used to believe. I choose to no longer limit myself based on old programming. Because this belief is going to cost you everything. It's going to cost you the most important aspect of your life. Because science is utterly clear. The most important part in a human's life is relationships. The biggest lever for your health, other than VO2 max and strength, is relationships. Quality male friends and the right woman. So, I would invite you from today on to divorce this old story, as Tony says, and marry the truth. Understand that if you're a kind, hardworking man who's going to treat her well, all that's required is 5 to 10 hours of work per week to go on a date a week, 15 minutes a day of dating apps, talk to some people in person if you want, send some messages on Instagram, and work on your communication skills. You can absolutely do it, but you must strengthen that belief or faith in yourself every single day.